Hi, everyone, and Happy New Year. I'm Crystal Lynette.
Hey, y'all, it's Misha. Happy New Year. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is going to be good. We are
Yes.
starting off the new year with a bang. Y'all, me and Crystal were behind the scenes talking about Shiloh. It seems like we're going to have two different sides today.
Yes, this is going to be a fun night, y'all. This is going to be a fun debate. Just thank you guys. Thank you all. Please like the video. It helps with the algorithm.
Yes,
Please
hit the like button, please.
hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thank you guys all for coming in. Let's get it started. Thank you, Misha, for doing these clips. I'm still on my clip learning scale. So I really appreciate y'all for coming in early because this is gonna be this is gonna be a doozy. So let's get it going, everyone. Let's get it going. First clip, it was Meet the Parents. Meet the Parents. You got Mumin, Frank, the New York connection with Mr. Dante and Aisha. That's Aisha's brother. And I think that except for the height, that is Aisha's twin. Except for the height and the beard, that is Aisha's twin.
Monique, you feel me, Monique? Because I was back here like, no, Crystal.
Monique and I was on somebody else's. I was in the chat on somebody else's live earlier, and Monique had said something, and I had said something back, and I said, "So Monique, you don't even know what I'm about to say." I disagree with Crystal. Y'all, this is gonna be fun. And then Phil and Sydney, and then the Shiloh of it all. So let's get it going. Please like the video. Please go on Crystal Lynette's channel and hit that subscribe button if you have not already, and hit if you haven't subscribed to Misha Allen's, please like that video as well, or hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much. Let's get it going. Who are we starting with? Okay, we're starting with New York in the house. I really like Aisha's mom. I really like her brother. Her brother was like, you got not one, not two, but three babies.
He could have just said three. He didn't have to do the countdown.
He had to do the finger point. He had to do the three.
He was acting like you, Crystal, instigator. That is y'all. If y'all don't know Crystal by now, that is something Crystal would do.
No, I would say, okay, look, let me reiterate this. Let me understand. So, but I do appreciate Dante. He gave us a little bit more insight because he was like, so two of the mothers of his children are remarried, and we didn't know that previously. So I'm glad to hear that. And I think his youngest is 10. Say it again.
2, not 3. So there's still
2, not 3.
One that I'm like questioning, like, okay, so what's going on with that?
Right, but then he also said that his youngest, the mother of his youngest child is 10, so that's a good thing as well. That that they're a little older, so that's a good thing. I did like the questions. I do wonder, I don't know. I feel like this clip was very short, so I kind of wonder what was edited. I just liked the mom. I liked their whole vibe. So, and the brothers, I like New York accents, but the brother was, I said, oh yeah, that is definitely. And that's Aisha's twin.
His whole face is on her face. Right, but it's like, it's weird because Aisha is so beautiful, but I was like, that is Aisha's whole face.
It is Aisha's face. Aisha's lips, like, wow. That is Aisha right there. So what did you think?
The mom, she, like, to me, she has like that grandma spirit, like that, just, you can just tell she is a grandmother and a good grandmother. So I was like, oh, I like her mom. The brother wasted no time. He got straight to it, which I loved. But they've been saying some stuff about Dante, and he carries a special type of package, and I'm just, his silk
Elaborate.
PJs.
I guess that's the instigator in me. Elaborate. He carries a special type of package.
He got a golden type,
a golden member,
box.
a golden.
His gifts come in a gold box that really incites and excites and bring the ladies great joy during the holiday times. But so there has been some talk on social media about this, but I see it. I definitely see it. But I like them together. I think they're cute. The brother asks good questions. Does my sister have something to worry about with all these baby mamas? Yes, two are married, but just because you're married doesn't mean you're not harboring any resentment, hate, frustration against the last person or your ex. So yes, they're married. That's great. But that doesn't mean that all is good per se. And there's still one lingering around that we don't know nothing about. So I don't know. But if she likes it, I love it. I like them together.
If you like it, I love it, AW. And I do wonder, like, how old is he? 36? How old is Dante?
Do you remember? I don't know.
I
feel like he might be in his early 40s, I think.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask is I just wonder how old the older children are, because if this was him being young and like in his 20s, that's one thing.
I think the oldest is 18, 17, 18.
Okay.
But I heard the youngest one was 5.
They said the youngest was 10.
Oh, I don't know.
The youngest one was 10. That's what I was saying earlier. Okay. Well, I don't know. That's a good. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go.
Okay. Have at it.
Okay. There's a couple of things here. First of all, I'm gonna start with the fun stuff. You know how I do sometimes. I like the dogs. I like the little Sir Alvin. I said, I'm gonna steal that name in some script because I think that's cute. This mom and her dogs was a trip to me. The stepdad, I even like the stepdad. I love a man that and that is a very Southern tradition to bring something for the family, bring something for the parents. That just shows consideration. And it just shows a little bit of respect. You don't have to, but it's just nice. It's just nice and it's proper. I love what the mother said, that if you are a playboy, you can keep on playing somewhere else. I do think that it says something that he met the parents, and the person we're going to get into a little later did not meet the parents. He met the sister. Right. But I also, now this could have been scheduling conflicts. We don't know, but it still speaks volumes to me. The parents just may not have been available when Frank was supposed to meet them, but still. She said that she was so nervous that her mother had to help her dress her. I don't think that's it, but her mother probably helped her say, hey, what about the pink outfit? But just the fact that she was just nervous, and just the intentionality was all in this room. It's so funny because Monique was in another chat and she said that this screamed Airbnb-ish, this whole apartment. But apparently this whole apartment.
I was like, what does she do for a living? Because if she is living there, she must got money. So
well, apparently this is about 20 or 30 minutes outside of DC and Virginia. So this is and I can't they have the name of the apartments on the outside, but this is in the Virginia area. So and they just I do see the affection there. I pretty appreciate it, and we'll get into this a little later. I liked Sydney in this episode. She showed a lot of
Mm-hmm.
growth.
Mm-hmm.
And she just showed a little bit more layers to her than what we and even and I'm gonna say it, Miss Misha did not like Sydney. She was like, oh, she's not a girl's girl. She was
I
just not.
like her. I just thought she was very spunky, very. I don't have a problem with her, but I could see how she can get on people's nerves. I don't
That's
have
what she did. So she's getting on people's nerves. She's getting on people's nerves. And I said, now, wait a minute. So I definitely think the intentionality was definitely more here. And you could just feel it was just a different type of meeting. Going outside to that, I don't know how long they were outside in that hallway because she definitely took off her jacket.
But
So
he didn't even wait till the door closed till he
right.
was trying to. I was like, dang, the parents are right there on the couch. What are you
Yep.
trying to do?
I noticed that. I noticed that. I said, y'all give it a minute. Y'all gonna see each other again. So yeah, I just think that you could just tell that they're, it's just different. I know that
Yeah.
and I finally got to see that there may be something here. It may not be just that he likes her a little Fashion Nova dresses. Or
I don't know.
she I don't know. I just
I don't see that. I felt like it was eye opening because we got to see an emotional side of her.
mhm.
And we also, I picked up that Sydney does not choose well. So I think because people were like, some people
Oh,
didn't
we gotta
like
go
that
on.
she was asking, do you have a savings? If you're a player, don't bring that over here. But I think the mom knows that she doesn't always choose well. And some people were saying, well, like, does she have an issue with finances? Maybe that's why the mom asks, like, can you manage money? Because my daughter can't, type
Right.
of thing. So that's what I picked up is I feel like maybe the parents might be a little protective, maybe because they have to be, because she doesn't always make the right choices. But I'm warming up to Sydney. I never didn't like her. I was like, she is so spunky, like she like a little cheerleader. But I
You said that
she's
she
growing.
looked like she drank too much pre-workout.
Yeah, she does. She acts like she drank too much pre-workout, but she's growing on me. I think this episode I understand her a little bit more and like how she is as a person. I don't think I think she's I don't think Frank is not Frank. What is his man's name? Phil is the one. I just think that she's she sees more long term with Phil versus Frank because of Frank's lifestyle, his career, and all that. But I think Phil might have a little bit of wool over her eyes. I don't think she fully sees the player, the lustful side of Phil. But I think that's even why she chose him for the parents, because I think she knew the parents would like him and they would see through Frank. But it was nice.
That is so funny. It was nice. I we got to get into this. The fact that the dad asked about the kissing, that was kind of telling to me that my
Mhm.
daughter, to your point, either doesn't choose well or she just leads. I'm trying to be a little bit PC. My daughter kind of leads with sex or leads with her femininity and it needs to
Uh,
be a better picker, as you just said. Just not just be looking at the outside of a guy, but pick better and not just be kissing every guy, not just be all over the guys. So I just the fact that the daughter asked or the dad asked, did you have to kiss all 10 of these guys? And I was like, why would he even ask that? So, but um,
mhm.
but I thought that was very telling as well. I do appreciate the mom was like, "Do you got a savings? Listen, like, if
Mhm.
you're trying to be a player, just play on, play on, play on, player." So I appreciate the mom saying something. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then
Just to clarify, I wasn't saying that Sydney has an issue like with money as far as making money. I was saying managing money because that's two different things. You can make a lot of money and still not know how to manage it. That's where I was coming from. I didn't say Sydney
yeah,
has money problems, but
no,
that's all I was saying.
yeah, I saw that. No, I don't think so. I think that, like you said, a bottle girl, the service. I don't know if she does something else, but
I know she's like an influencer. I think she has her own business as well. I don't
right.
know what it.
And that's what I was
I
going
don't
to say.
remember
Does she
what
have
it
her own
is.
business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's. So, I think that this is the. Okay, so I literally just came to my mind. Y'all know, I said, "How tall is Frank?" Because he's wearing heels, but I shouldn't have said that.
He looks short.
He
He looks
does.
very short to me.
Frank is kind of a
He
just
has
a
a short
stocky guy.
man's face. Like he looks short and stocky.
Yeah, he's a stocky guy.
Like he
Um,
has to stay in shape. If he gains weight, that is just no. Let me stop.
y'all, okay. So it was interesting because she kept going back and forth with Frank, and first she was like, "Oh, let's just keep it light. Let's keep it light. Let's keep it light." And then she told her sister, "No, go ahead and grill him." She said, "You just told me not to grill him." She said, "You know what? I changed my mind." And what she said was, "I have choices." What did you mean? What do you think she meant by that? I know what I think. What do you think she meant by "I have choices"?
Exactly what she said. She got choices. Like
Yep.
she doesn't care if you run him off because she got Phil in her back pocket.
Yep.
So
Frank is
yeah,
5'11". That is so
five
funny.
six.
We
Like
asked one
they could
question,
list
y'all.
10 different heights.
I'm gonna pull a me too. I can't with y'all. Like we have sometimes I ask a general question, not expecting an answer, and then I love it though. Y'all just keep them coming, keep them coming. You know. Okay, so they sat down. Okay, I'm gonna say something, Frank, and I'm gonna get into this later. I have a feeling that you were the type of guy that sometimes will put your foot in your mouth, and you just don't know.
he
Because
had it. He had it with Moomin's parents. When he got
yep,
here, I don't know what happened. The boy was just fumbling all around.
just fumbling. And I feel like he
Mhm.
fumbled earlier too. And I'm trying to think, it wasn't with the Meet the Girlfriend. He fumbled somewhere else too. I just feel like he just, I don't know, puts his
Mhm.
foot in his mouth. But okay, so when he turns in front of the sister and says, "I know that I really want to have you in my life," and all of this, he says, "Why would you even mention Moomin's name?" Just said, and that you could tell literally her body
Mm.
language totally changed. She's like
Mhm.
listening. She's like, "Yes," and then she's like, "But I still like Moomin too," or something. Just the fact that he said another woman's name that she knows, like, don't go there. Just saying, um I still want to get to know the other person as well or something, but you could tell. And yeah. Just the fact that he did that, like, you just put your foot in your mouth. And I know I'm going to say it a little later when we talk about somebody. Be honest. I'm still at this, be honest, but at the same time, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I'm like, Frank, you just stop right now. Just stop it. So what? His player mask fell off. His player mask fell off, and he kicked it through the window. Yeah, he fell apart during the visit. He didn't know what Josie said because he's stupid. He completely fell apart. He completely fell apart. Um, yeah, he felt her energy. He was sweating and stuttering. I feel like there was somewhere. What was the other time where he was just a sweating? Like I was like, Frank, what are you doing? Go ahead, Misha. What do you think?
I let's where do we begin? So he enters the scene talking about Sydney has a body yada yada. I was like, don't no grown man say body. I was like, you know what? Dude,
Are we
what?
having issues? Do we need a moderator?
No, I've just said because I don't have one in the chat, but I was just saying, no, there's no issue.
Okay.
Just in case there is, I want to stay on top of it. That's all.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt because
not Mama Crystal. She was like, "Do we have an issue?
Do we have an issue, y'all? Let me stop this right now. Get him, Monique. Get like this Salsa. What's going on? Like, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, keep going.
But yeah. So there's that, and he did have his foot in his mouth. He was stumbling with his words, and I was just like, why, like, what's going on? I feel like he had a little bit more control with Mutin because he knew what to expect. Because he's African, she's African. I think he knew the questions that were coming. So he was like more prepared. But with her, or maybe he thought it was going to be her parents. I don't know what the man thought. But it was like, yeah, why did you say Moomin's name? Because you didn't do that with Moomin's parents. So I think he was just a little off his rocker, not off his rocker, off his game because then I think he likes her more. I think that's what it is. He likes her more. He has Moomin lingering around because she hanging on for dear life at this point. I don't know why she's still on the show. I love Moomin, huh?
Oh, Moomin, yes, I agree with that.
I love Moomin outside of the show, but I just don't feel like she really needs to be on the show, or it's like her match isn't here. I just don't like. Just go ahead and go, but she's still trying to hang on and claim and claim her spot with him. And I don't know if Sydney can see that. And I think Sydney is already insecure about his lifestyle. So I feel like she feels more security there and feels like there's more longevity. Maybe Phil will commit more, but I don't know, child.
Yeah. I don't know. He just he just started singing Blackstreet and holding her around the waist.
Was he begging? He was begging like he sweats. Like, is he on his knees?
Right. Well, because he is closer to the ground. So I don't know what this process is going to lead, and you're part of the answer to that. I just started hearing, before I let you go, can I get a kiss? Good night, baby. That wasn't full voice, y'all. I actually can carry a tune. Sorry. Lately, I've been thinking something's going wrong. I just hear him doing that. Okay, let's get it.
Listen, the daddy is my favorite. I'm like, can we add him to the cast? Because I want him on every episode. He was not taking no mess. He was sitting there like on guard. You see, the uncle was a little laid back, having too much fun. The daddy was on it. He said, if this is not the adventure that you want.
No, but look at the sister. I love it. I love it. I love it. He was no joke. And you're right. Thank goodness for the uncle. Thank goodness for that uncle. Because he was he said, this ain't the adventure that you want. And when I didn't know that she was Cameroonian. I knew she was African, but not Cameroonian. They came in full garb too. It was beautiful. And he's Ghanaian, but he said he's first generation Ghanaian. Like he was born here, but his parents weren't. And I did not know that. But he did not say, there's somebody else in the in the mix. He did not say her name, but he knew not to say that in front of the parents. He knew not to do that in front of the parents. But I like the dad saying, when you couldn't find a Cameroonian man, like what's wrong with that? Like, and she was like, Dad, like, and stuff. So I thought it was really sweet. But he does pull this "you make me want to be a better man" type of thing, energy with Moomin, but he is still behind closed doors. If he wasn't with the parents, he's still what do you call it? That's hypersexual to me. He still does not. I still don't. I still don't trust that he's going to be that person to wait. I still don't think that's important to, if that is important to her, and she's going to keep with that being so important, then um, I just don't see that being the case with Frank. Um, I did like the sister. She was very honest. She was like, I know that this is the process. She was like to the sister, this is the process. Still, you're not second best. You're not second best.
Right.
You're not second
Hello.
best.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's true. That's why we won't go on the show, because we're in the, I'm not playing for them. I'm not.
I agree. I felt I was on Kimberly reviews and she was like, where did this accent come from? Is Frank trying to talk with an accent?
Yes.
And I feel like he was kind of playing the role because
Absolutely.
he's African, because he has African parents. He knows what they like. He knows what they want to hear. So I felt like he was kind of putting on a front. Even when they're sitting there, he kind of nudges Moomin to come in closer, and she's like trying to scoot over in her seat. I'm like, you ain't never put your hand on her shoulder before. Why? So I feel like he was definitely trying to put on the act and impress the parents. And
just like when he met the Dallas with the beautiful makeup and her other friend, when he met Sydney's friends, they said that the way he talks is like he's not like a recorder, but he says all the right words.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's the other time that I was trying to think of, like with Frank, he knows how to put on. That's
right.
I just felt I get the impression that Frank knows how to put on.
Right.
But this whole scene, it was just hilarious to me. I loved it. I loved it in a good way, not a bad way. Yeah. Okay, this is so funny. One, I just love me some Sabrina. I just think she's very classy. But I just think that they're good friends. They're good friends. And the sister, right? Sister or cousin?
Is it was New York, it the cousin? Yes. Okay. All I want to say, Sabrina was probably the smartest one of them all. She picked a cousin that just had a baby. That cousin ain't hardly paying attention. She don't care. She trying to tend to her newborn. But I think this was smart on Sabrina's end, because there's no need, in my opinion, in bringing your parents or family members around when you just met this person. When you really don't have a solid connection or foundation, why drag all these people into this? I get it makes for good TV, but it's like, what? Like, it's too soon. It don't really make sense. I was like, is he going to an interview? I don't think I've ever seen Walter this neat looking this whole season, but maybe maybe that's he was putting on his representative. I don't know.
He was that, or maybe he was just coming from work. I'm not sure, but this green tie and he looked good. And Walter definitely knows how to dress, but he dressed up for a Zoom interview. So I feel like he was just coming from somewhere. Y'all and this AARP Walt, y'all. True. Like Sabrina's parents were not, they weren't remember? So they
but she has other family members.
Yeah.
Besides the cousin that just had a baby.
It was her cousin that just had the baby. So
Sabrina, it was smart. It was smart.
Sabrina, no, that's what we were saying. That was smart.
Did the same thing. Ain't no need in bringing
stop it.
parents, aunts, and uncles, and siblings for somebody you just met. So,
but I think, as I said, he may have just coming from work or something like that. Y'all, Mimi. So,
Walter's shoes.
probably. Which, I love me some Sabrina with the pink top and everything. So I don't remember what scene this is, but I just know that um, Walter answered some good questions. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask about. So he was saying, usually you date younger, even though they're the same age, he dates younger women. How is it dating somebody, your own age? And the cousin said dating somebody older, and he said, well, she's getting my pop culture references, and I just feel like they really get along, like they're really good friends. I get the impression that they're really good friends. Um, I do think, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna go further than that. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there? But it's important to be really good friends. But is it gonna go further than that? Yeah.
I don't know about Walter. I just can't read him, or like, I just haven't felt like with anyone on the show where I'm like, oh, like he's really into them, because I feel like with everyone he does the whole trauma bonding,
that's what I was going to mention.
The sad events that happen in his life. And that's, to me, that's the only thing that seems to excite him, is talking about his past pain. But I'm just like, what else gets him open? That's what gets him talking. I'm like, if he's not talking about that stuff, it's like they never really show him talking about other things. So I'm like,
point. You do have a point that that's part of his story, as Liz would say, that's part of his testimony, talking about his wife and everything. But we don't see him, except for the last date where he took her to her favorite restaurant, and they were both in black. That they just had fun, and relaxed together. I was like, what team do you like? Or do you like football? Like, so you're right though. I haven't seen him, talk about anything else, but that could be the editing. We don't know, but
right.
I do think you have a point there. But I do think the cousin was kind of tapping on something. He's the one that doesn't have any kids, and is that why he dates younger? That's what I was getting at. You understand what I'm saying?
True. That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. I'm laughing at High Vibe. I cannot.
No, friends are important in a relationship. You have to be friends too, and I agree with that.
Right.
Yes, what High Vibe saying? Yeah, she's strategically playing this right move. Sorry, I'm all getting tongue tied. Playing this right above the surface. To me, this is all about the opportunity to get her brand promoted. That's interesting. Well, one, I don't know if she needs help with that, because even me, I'm like, listen, 20, 25 pounds from now, Sabrina, I'm buying the dress next in the preview. I was like, that is the business. I don't know if I can afford a belt right now, but I'm
right. Sabrina expensive, honey.
but yeah, hey, I'm not mad at it though. I can't hate on that.
I think Sabrina's been open. She's been genuine. I think she's been as open as she can, because she did say, these men, I'm doing the pursuing, I'm reaching out, they're not responding. I hear from them like every now and then. So
let's go here for a second. You have she's been open, but have these guys been open to her?
Right.
That's my question. Because she's even, and I don't blame her when she talked to, who was that, Frank, in the apple orchard, when she was like, listen, nobody's called me. Nobody has. Is anybody, picking up to just say, hey, let's hang out. Let's, even if it's in a group, no one has like called me up. Let's hang out. Let's get to know, except for the miniature golf. Have we, and that was a group date.
Yeah.
And I can't blame her for sticking up for herself. I can't blame her for sticking up for herself.
Mm-hmm.
But so she's been open, but have these guys been open to her? Excuse me. Okay. I think Sabrina
Right.
is more mature
Yes.
than these guys they chose for this season. I totally agree. And
And
what's so
she
funny?
calls people out. She stands in
Hmm.
her truth. So I think some men that are playing, they're intimidated by that. They're not gonna.
I agree though. No, I agree. What's so funny? I feel like when we first started this show, when we were looking at the cast, and I was talking about the age ranges of the guys, and I was like, I don't know if they are going to be able to. I don't want to say the word compete, but you understand what I'm saying? Are they looking at this longevity? Like, what are their stories? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Okay. Let's talk about our boy Phil. So this is the first sit down, right?
Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, if y'all could have seen us backstage, we're like, no, Shiloh did it. No,
So
Shiloh.
first, and y'all know I actually was a big fan of Phil, and this isn't where he disappointed me. It was previous to this. My feeling is that Phil pulled an AJ. I think that at the retreat when she was asking him a question, he kissed her. He was being all affectionate, and he knew I just need to be affectionate to her. And everybody's talking about how, oh well, he picked her up during the when they were in the kitchen. Excuse me, she was facing him at the time. She faced him, and it was definitely playful when he picked her up in the kitchen. Okay.
Mm.
So first of all, why they sat down with Uncle Tommy, I don't understand that, but it's probably because she didn't want him to meet the parents, and so they wanted to find out why. Because
Mm.
I was like, to me, why would you sit down with the moderator, the host, during this situation? Why wouldn't you go straight to producers and say there was an altercation that happened the night before? But that's neither here nor there. They sat down with Uncle Tommy, and a couple, what was it, last week? Misha was talking about, what, because Uncle Tommy asking about, have y'all been drinking? I feel like he gave him a real daddy tone, um, and said y'all should have had your asses in bed. That's neither here nor there. And so to me, Phil saying one shot at 4 or 5 in the morning, I don't know about that. And even her, and I looked at a couple other chats, and they were like, in DC, they stopped serving at 1 or 2 in the morning. Is one, he's right. I would not have been out at 4 or 5 in the morning. That's there. Um, but Phil, I'm sorry, but before this, before he got excited by his new shiny toy, uh he was very open to her. He was talkative. He was really trying to get to know Shiloh. He got excited by the new shiny toy, and he placated her. He kept saying, well, just this the process, it's the process, it's the process. But before that, he kissed her, picked her up, was all affectionate. And now she's like, well, wait a minute. And we do that. People do that, not just women. We do that sometimes where we're like, we let it go. And then afterwards, we start thinking, we're like, wait a minute, I'm not sure that was what I thought it was. Right. So she's driving home in the car, and she says to, you know what, I'm not sure about that. Let me ask him about that again. Maybe in the car. I know Misha said, well, in the car, that's when he should have asked. Or they weren't, I don't think they were driving together. But if you're on a long drive, that's when you have time to think. When the music's going, you have time to think, right? So she says, I'm not sure about that. Let me ask him again. But to me, yes, she might have been. She's not just mad that he hasn't chose her. He's mad because he didn't answer the questions. Just say, even if he didn't bring up what's her name's, uh, Sydney, he could have said, "I'm having feelings for somebody else," or "I'm not where you are at." They were saying, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, he treated her the same way she treated Tyrone. I disagree with that, because when Tyrone brought her the answer, but brought the scenario up to her, she said, I'm not feeling the same way. She said the answer, I'm not feeling the same way. Why didn't Phil just say, hey, I'm not feeling the same way you're feeling? But instead, oh, just trust the process. It's the process. It's the process. It's the process. Now, you do have a point. They shouldn't have been having this conversation in the club at 4 o'clock in the morning. So she said, I just walked away. I just wanted, because she got the picture, she got the picture. Hey, this is not going anywhere. It's time for me to exit stage left. And she started walking away. To me, they kept saying, and people are saying, well, he told her it's not. No, he never said it's not safe. Don't go down there. He never said, stop, don't go down that way. He just comes up and picks her up and takes her back to the car. Now, I'm not saying that Phil's not a protector. I actually think that he was trying to protect her. And then in that second scene, he says, my objective in this meeting is to apologize. He said it in the ITM. But he never actually said, listen, I am so sorry. Don't just pick and choose, pick all of the chat, not just, but he didn't say, I am so sorry that how this went down. I'm sorry that this is how, this has to end. I'm sorry if I made you feel emotionally not protected or unsafe or whatever. He didn't say, I apologize for how this came about. He never said that. He said it in his ITM. He never apologized. She wanted him to start first. She said, Tommy, do you mind if Phil starts first? And he cut out all of what happened. And he said, long story short, this is we got into an altercation. No, 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 no. There's no long story short. So everybody's saying that they're talking about it too much, and it was not that big of a deal. She looked like she didn't want to talk about it. She actually, everybody's saying, well, she manipulated him. Sweetie, she was trying to walk away. She said, let me walk away. Let me go away. She just wanted to stop. She wanted to get away. He picked her up. And I don't, now, a lot of people are saying that, oh, she's just like the other girls. Excuse me. At no point, those other girls, they got in somebody's face, they poked somebody in the nose. She's like, I'm Shiloh. I'm nice, and I want to be, what do you call it? An intimacy coach. I like to what do you call it? Touching and feeling and all of this stuff. No, she's never displayed this I'm this aggressive manipulator. There are other people on the show, other women on the show have showed that, not her. So I'm not going to say that she intentionally manipulated him. I don't think that she intentionally manipulated. I definitely think that it got out of hand. I definitely think that I hear what he was saying by saying, listen, you can be mad at me for now, but I was trying to get you out of the situation. Um this character assassination, if that, to him, I don't think it was a character assassination, but I do think her saying, when he asked, were you trying to hurt me? And she said yes. Do you think I was trying to hurt you? He said yes. She said yes. And then she says emotionally yes. I do think that's a contradiction. To me, you could have said, listen, I asked you a question. You didn't want to even say, hey, I don't want to talk about this. Let's talk about this in the morning. Even say, I'm tired. I agree with you on a couple points. I got 3 brothers. I got a lot of them in my family. If a man doesn't want to talk about something, don't try to like manipulate him into forcing him to speak. So, but why couldn't he just say, listen, let's not talk about this right now? So my brothers, I agree with you on that point that you made the other night. Are watching football, don't try to have a conversation with them. I got that. At the same time, I think that him coming up behind her and picking her up, that was going to be all bad. That was going to be all bad. He never said, hey, don't go down that way. He just came up behind her, picked her up. So I'm not saying that he's not a protector. I'm not saying that he wasn't trying and his intentions were good, but they both hold fault in this situation. I think he should have been more honest. I've always said this, you guys. Even if I don't like to hear it, be honest with me. But I also think that she does hold fault in this situation too. And everybody is talking about, we as women want a man to be protective. Absolutely. I want a man to protect me. I'm also probably not going to be out in the streets at 4 or 5 in the morning. But if I am, and something's about to happen, but that's not what he said. He did not give that impression. I'm sorry. I think that she holds a lot of fault in this scenario too. So, and I think that her saying, "Well, you were trying to hurt me emotionally by just placating me, constantly placating me." Oh, it's the process. Oh, it's the process, sweetheart. Just say, I'm sorry dating somebody else. I'm having feelings for somebody else. Okay? He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. But at least she gets an answer. So I just feel like they both had fault in this situation. And I don't think I don't think it's all Phil, and I don't think it was all her. So, and everybody's saying that Shiloh's a manipulator and Shiloh's this, but Phil pulled an AJ. Phil pulled an AJ, and he just tried to placate her, and he tried to manipulate her, and he tried to have his cake and eat it too. He even said, "I don't know how things are going with Sydney. I don't know how. I don't want to lose out on Shiloh. I'm not sure about Sydney." He kept saying, "I'm not sure about Sydney. I'm not sure about Shiloh yet." And a lot of people are talking about him not looking somebody in the eyes. I really didn't notice it until last episode that if he doesn't know, Tommy said, "Look at each other." And he refused. And she turned and she tried to look at him. And he refused. He puts his head down constantly. Even J Dubs is like, I call him look at the floor, Phil. He just doesn't eye contact. He could have just had some eye contact. He could have been honest. So that's my rant for now. I might have more to say. Go ahead, y'all.
I'm just going to say that, okay, we talked about it before. We pointed out how he doesn't make eye contact with her when she's asking about where he is in the process. And somewhere along the lines of, we talked about the like love bombing her and then backing away or pulling away. We talked about all of the things Phil was doing to her that might have been emotionally abusive. That has nothing to do with this situation here. Like, yes, Phil needs to take accountability in that area and what he emotionally did to her. My issue is when they're showing these trailers with just them and nephew Tommy, and it gets us thinking something physical happened. And not only that, when they do sit down, we find out that he picked her up because it was 4 a.m. and she was trying to walk down the alley. That's not the time. Like, I get it. I have been there where I've been in arguments and I'm like, do not say another word to me. Do not come near me. Don't touch me. I get it. But if she was not, it seemed like she was in her emotions and he was the only one that was thinking with logic in that moment. So I do not fault him for picking her up and taking her to the car. I'm sure he had to tell her, don't walk away, get in the car. We'll have to wait for the interview. We'll have to wait for the interview. But I don't believe his first instinct was just to grab her. I'm sure there was some sort of warning. Don't walk down there, come back this way. I'm hoping there was some type of warning. I don't think he was just like, no, get in the car or come with me or you not going until I say you can go. I don't think it was that, but that's what she tried to paint it as, was like, he wouldn't let me walk away. He was trying to she said he was trying to physically control the situation. No, he wasn't. He was trying to stop you from getting into danger, possibly in a dark alley in the middle of night in DC. I feel like that's all it was. So the fact that we have to sit through 4 different scenes, we got to sit down here with you and nephew Tommy. We got to sit with you in deliberation. We got to sit with you and Phil and Shiloh one-on-one. Then we got to sit and listen to you talk to nephew Tommy alone. I'm like, this is not that big of a situation to do all of this because someone was trying to protect you. It wasn't that he didn't want to give you your space. That's what she was trying to make it seem, is like he didn't want her to have her space. It was not about him not wanting her to have space. He didn't want her in a dark alley. That's it. And I feel like I've talked about a lot of these men on this show, how they come off passive, they're not assertive, but it's kind of like you're damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Because if Phil would have let her kept walking, then what? He didn't protect her. But if he grabs her and tries to take her to the car, then he's wrong. So I'm just like, because I talked about Cornball and how he wasn't assertive. But if he would have been assertive with Camille and her, all the things she was saying, people would have took that as he's aggressive, he's this, he's that. So I think that he feels in a situation where he's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't. And I just don't like that there was a narrative painted, like, because they had to say, like, nephew Tommy had to ask multiple times, were you physically, do you feel like he was trying to physically harm you? Do you feel, and she was like, no. But I'm like, girl, I'm sorry. She just annoyed me because to me, it was not that deep to keep dragging it on. Every single sit down, her face was full of emotion. Her eyes were full of emotion. So it's like, I think there's more, of course, to the story. Yes, I do feel like there was ways he led her on and things of that sort. But at the end of the day, I know y'all hate when I say this, but she should have kept Tyrone around longer. If you want that commitment, you wanted someone to give you direct answers. Tyrone told you he sees you as a wife. He wasn't saying he's going to marry you tomorrow, next week, next month. He was clearly just stating his intentions. Tyrone stated that, but you said he's further along in the process than I am. So you sent him home. Now you're with Phil. Phil's liking Sydney. And now you want him to be at the same level in the process that you are. And you can say she just wanted a direct answer. No, ultimately she wanted the answer that he was choosing her or that he was more serious about her. That is what she wanted, because it's clear that she was invested in this.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She was invested. She didn't have puffy eyes for weeks now, child. This girl is invested. This girl is in this. She didn't have the puffy eyes, the red nose. She wanted a relationship with Phil. She did want that. And it wasn't happening. And I felt like she blew this out of proportion because she wants Phil. She wants to be with Phil. I don't think it's all on a direct answer.
It wasn't. He didn't have to say it direct. He could have said something. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, because I let you talk, and I'm sorry. You let me talk, and I wanted to let you talk. I'm sorry, y'all, in the chat. So straight up, she didn't care to me, and even on the drive home, she said after thinking about it, and she even said in her ITM, not to her, in her ITM, she said after thinking about it, the no answer is the answer. everybody in these YouTube streets have been saying that, right? But she had to come to that her own way in her own conclusion. She didn't. Well, of course, we want the man to choose us. She wanted the other answer, but she realized that's not the answer I was going to get, or that I got, because now, after in hindsight, no answer is an answer. So for her to say, for you to say, well, she wanted him to choose her. She wanted him to choose her. She knew that that wasn't it. She's like, now in hindsight, the non-answer is the answer. But she tried to walk away. She said, let me walk away. Let me just get some space and let me leave. And him now, you can say that, oh well, he probably did say something. We don't know that. He could have probably had said, don't go down there, or where are you going. I hope he said, where are you going? But we don't know for sure that that's what he said. He could have just grabbed her and tried to pull her back and picked her up. We don't know that. And in that, like he said, I made a split decision to do that. So his split decision could have been, let me shut up and pick this girl up and take her back to the car, and come up behind her and pick her up and take her back to the car. Now, I do, and I said in the chat, a couple of things. Actually, Aubrey, I agree that looking at the floor or not making eye contact, Misha said before, he doesn't make eye contact. I agree. That could be just shyness. That could be anything. That's not saying that somebody's a liar. I never said that he was a liar. I actually did say that I do think he is a protector. I don't think that he was intentionally trying to do her harm, but I do think that he holds some fault in this situation, because if he would have given some type of answer, even on the drive home, they had to talk before they got to the club. They had to have a conversation before they got to the club, even if it wasn't at the poolside, even if it wasn't at the retreat. So he could have said something. He could have said, hey, I'm starting to have feelings for somebody else. Hey, I'm not sure about this. Our goal was to date, and, you and I have been spending a lot of time together, but I'd like to, start looking at some other relationship, whatever. I just feel like, to me, he holds some fault in this situation. I don't think that she's Azadia at all. I don't think that she's not. If that were the case, did he, at any point after he picked her up, did Phil say she hit me back? Did Phil say she got in my face? No, we have not seen that. So I think you saying that she's Azadia, we have not seen that. We've not seen that. We've actually seen Zadia get in somebody's face, put her hands on somebody. We've actually seen Camille cuss somebody out. So I'm not going to say that she's Azadia. I'm not going to do. I don't think that that's right to say that this woman. I do think that she is hurt, because she did think that there was a relationship here, and she's realized that it's not there. So yes, she was acting on emotions, but she holds some fault in the situation. And so, but he should have thought of something else to do. He said, my goal going into this was to apologize. At no point, and I watched it again. I said, let me watch this again. Did he actually say that it was an apology? He didn't actually say that. He didn't actually say, I apologize that I picked you up and made you feel insecure, or made you feel some type of way. That wasn't my intention. He never said that. He said that to an ITM. He did not say that to her. So, okay. I'm gonna keep this picture of Tommy up.
What do you think about this comment? Because
I'm sorry.
This is what we were talking about. She said she was triggered, but knew Phil wasn't going to physically hurt her.
She said, in my past. So, okay, there's another thing. So SHILOH said that she was triggered, but then said she knew Phil wasn't going to physically. She said that she knew that he wasn't going to, that he didn't do it to intentionally harm her. Yeah. But picking her up like somebody, okay, so let's go to the other scene. Yeah. I feel triggered by somebody picking me up, not in a more harmful way. This isn't in a harmful way. This man has got her in a more an affectionate, physical way. She's facing him and she's got her arm around him in an affectionate way. That other way had to not be, it had to not be like this. You understand what I'm saying? So he comes up, if somebody's walking away and somebody comes up behind me, whether to stop me or what, it was not like this. So she was triggered and she's like, in my past. And then that's another thing. She said that in an ITM. She did not say that to him. So yeah, she did not say that to him. She said that to an ITM. She said some things happened in my past that I was triggered. She did not say that to the three of them, to Tommy and to Phil. That I wanted to look at again. So I just feel like that. I think that
I just feel like she didn't have any logic. She didn't have the logic to know you don't go asking serious relationship questions in a bar with loud music, with alcohol. That's not the time or place. And I don't think she understands at 3 or 4 in the morning, that's not the time to go walking down the alley. Yes, you're upset. Yes, you may have been led on by Phil and all that. The logic isn't there. And then you sit there and you're trying to act like you're the victim in this situation. And there's like this whole alley situation. This is like, yes, there are areas where Phil was wrong, but this alley situation has nothing to do with her being hurt emotionally, and she's trying to drag that into this, and it has nothing to do with it.
You're never going to be a logical. You're not seeing that when it's happening. When it's happening, even unless you're somebody screaming, you're not going to see that this is a protection move. If somebody's coming up behind you and picking you up, you're not going to see. Of course, it's not going to be logical. And after the fact, it's just not going to be, it's not a logical thing. You're not going to be logical in that instance. Of course, she's just going to be irrational. So like yeah. We do know that she came up behind me and he said, I walked away. I wanted to just get away. He said that, or that she said that, and he agreed. And just like, let's not say, and let's, just like Misha was just saying, oh, well, let's not, you just said, let's not say that. I hope Misha was saying, well, he must have said, don't go that. We don't know that he said, don't go down there. He didn't say, where are you going? We don't know that either. So yeah, we can both agree that something's missing from this. Something that has been cut, something has been, not being said or not being shown has been cut, but just judging by this, I think they are both at fault. And I think that he was not truly honest and forthright. Let's remember they show what they want to show. So I just think and yes, Phil is a protector and Phil was trying to protect her, but at the time, you're not going to think that. You're not going to think that. I do think that I wonder, now this is what I wonder, if they cut his apology. If he said going into this meeting, my main objective is to apologize, and we didn't actually hear an apology. All we heard is both of them getting defensive. That's what I would have an issue with, because he said, my main objective, he was very clear, my main objective is to apologize. But we didn't hear him apologize. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied. We did not hear him apologize. I would be annoyed if they cut that just for the drama. So.
Yep, it is what it is. We can go all day long talking about this.
We knew this was going to be a good one, y'all. We knew this was going
to. But nephew told me, I'm like, can we get this man a raise? Because they done drug him into some foolishness. Because he is like, y'all pulled me out of my comfortable house to come here for this. Like,
right. I like this top she's wearing. That I like this top, and him and his tennis shoes. I like this top.
So let's get into this, because I wasn't feeling the whole woman's empowerment speech when she decided to go home. And first of all, is it just self-elimination season? I'm like, everybody is just sending themselves home. I'm like, what in the world? But I was just like, this is my issue with Camille, with Zadia, and now with her. There's no accountability. Okay, you spazzed. Okay, maybe you overreacted. Maybe you didn't understand where he was coming from by picking you up. But at what point do you say, okay, I shouldn't have been walking down an alley at 4 a.m. That's all I want to hear from Shiloh. Okay, that was not the best decision for me. And it's like, we done sat down and talked 4 times about this situation, and we never hear that from her. And that's my issue with it, is like, it's not Phil's the bad guy. Phil wanted to physically take control. It was all about control. No, like, at what point can you just say, you know what? Okay, I see where that was not the best decision. That's all I want to hear from Shiloh. And that's all I want to hear from these other girls. But when you have Zadia and Camille with this mean girl behavior, and it's editing, and it's this and it's that, and with Shiloh, well, it's just all Phil, and he emotionally tried to hurt me and all this. It's just like, can anyone, just any one of them, take accountability for the actions you are doing? But that's it.
So here's the thing. She could have said, I shouldn't have been asking him. In retrospect, I shouldn't have been asking him those questions late at night at 4:00 in the morning. But he should have said, I apologize. And that, I agree. If they cut that just for the drama, I'd be really pissed about that. I'm not blaming a black man for not protecting her, but in that instance, that I don't think that pickup was like this. If she's walking in front of you and he comes up behind you and picks her up, it's going to be a different thing. So this woman empowerment speech of hers, she said that the conversation got defensive, and she just said, I care more about myself and the situation. I think that she was sad that you know what, the person I thought that was for me here, or the person that I had invested in, turns out was not investing in me. And that's more to what she probably could have said, that he and I were in a match after all. So yeah. That's yeah, there you go. There y'all go. Y'all. So you know what? Next week is the season finale, and then we got the reunion. Apparently, from what I've been hearing through the grapevine, the reunion is going to be a doozy. It's going to be a lot. No, and that's why Phil is still here, High Vibes, because she said that he wasn't trying to physically harm her or abuse her, or I'm trying to think of the exact words, so why I paused. So he did not apologize. His apology included talking about the intent. That's why she didn't see it was genuine. Yeah, he didn't say, and that I agree, David. He didn't say he's like, this is why I did it. This is why I did it. This is why I did it. And sometimes you just have to say, and I think it was Chris Nathan was talking on the other show last night, but she was like, if he would have just said, I apologize, it would have went a long way. But instead he said A, B, C, D, F, G, and she was not hearing it. I don't even know that, because honestly, this is another thing I kind of appreciate, is the fact that at no point in this whole scenario have they brought up Sydney. They haven't brought up Sydney. So they haven't brought up Sydney. So for them to say, oh, well, her ego is bruised because considering her liability, what are you talking about? So with nobody, he's not arrested. He's still on the show because she said that he wasn't abused. So the finale is next week, and then after that we got the reunion. So hopefully more information is going to come out. Phil, if they cut it, that's what I am saying. They may have cut that. They may have but it was his apology was all encompassed in all kinds of other stuff, and she was like, so they have never mentioned Sydney, and she's hurt because of Sydney. It has nothing to do with Sydney. It has nothing to do with Sydney. It has nothing to do with Sydney.
Y'all, please hit the like button. There is plenty of y'all in the room. Please hit the like button, please. And thank you. Hit the like button. Stop playing with us.
Please hit the like button. Because we could go all night. This was a lot of fun, y'all.
It was.
This was, and this was a new, this was the first episode of the new year. Please hit this like button. Yeah. How does she strike you as a jealous woman? They haven't mentioned anybody else. Shiloh is not as, no, she's like, I'm about feeling. I'm about,
did you not, the deliberation? This is probably the time where I saw the deliberation where Sydney's talking about Phil beating her parents, and Shiloh is just giving her the stare of death. Like,
no, that was edited. I didn't even
to hear that.
Staring off into space. How do you know she was looking at Sydney? Because they cut it like that.
She was staring at her with the stink face. Like, I know, like, I'm going through it with this man, and you sitting over there talking about you.
But nobody knows that they were going through it because they didn't even. She didn't even speak about it until Tommy instead. Well, let's enlighten the ladies on what happened. And then that's another thing. Everybody's saying, well, why did they bring it up? You're saying, why did they bring it up at the deliberation? Because Tommy said it. He was like, you know what? After what went on, I didn't feel comfortable him meeting my parents. That's why. And who was it? High Vibes is saying, oh, Monique, they shouldn't have even brought it up. They brought it up because she probably canceled the meeting with the parents.
Sorry.
So they're like, well, what happened? Because we had this whole thing set up to meet the parents. What are you talking about? I got no voodoo. The funny thing is, the person that would put voodoo on me is Phil, because I always liked him, and now I'm mad. I'm like, Phil, what happened? Phil, you were my boy, Phil. Like, what is going on? So I do think there's more that happened, y'all. So y'all just hit this like button, because yes.
Yeah, make sure you're subscribed. I meant to talk about this with Crystal. We can talk about it after the live, but I want some of our supporters to come on for this finale live. You know, we got Shindy Alex, Monique King, the Miss Creative, Kimberly, Sharon F. We have a lot of people that have been supporting us for a long time now, and they got their opinions too. So we would love to see them on the live.
Kenya from Cali, Josie girl. I don't care if y'all disagree with me. It's fun. I actually still like Phil a lot. So and he was always my favorite, but this whole situation. So yeah, I
don't even like Phil. I don't think he's a good match for anyone because I don't think he's really intentional. But I can see.
What do you mean he's not intentional, Misha? What do you mean by that?
he's not intentional as far as wherever he's trying to take these ladies. I don't know. But I just don't think he's serious about anyone. I see lust all over him. You know, I think he needs some holy water, some oil. I don't know. He is just, it seems like it's all physical with him as far as sexually, not him being aggressive. But
I actually don't know. Your Josie is connecting that to a different person. I actually liked Phil. Misha just said that you don't think he's intentional. I'm Crystal. So you don't think he's
Look at Ellen. No, I said he's not intentional.
Right.
Not intentional.
But we see Sydney's lust in the whole from everybody. Like I don't think that's just Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Monique, yes, you need to come up. You need to come up and hang out with us. But you know, so yeah. I do want to talk about Miss Sydney a little bit before we go. We talked about this. I appreciate in the deliberation with the ladies, she said a couple of things. First, I appreciate that she said, I'm sorry that happened to you. She just said, listen, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry you felt the kind of way. Even if, yes, she said, he's not like that with me. Do you mind if I have a conversation with him? She was so intentional by saying, hey, do you mind if I talk to him about it? And Shiloh said, go for it. If Shiloh was lying or exaggerating at any point, she wouldn't have said, go for it. Talk to him. See what.
Where was that with Naeem? That's all I want to say. Where was that with Naeem when Zadia and Dante had the little situation?
Okay, I was
and
like,
Naeem just said, well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. It didn't happen. She's not that way with me. So I definitely respect Sydney for that, because just because you haven't seen a certain side of someone doesn't negate that happened. You still need to see, okay, how did this happen? What is going on with the situation? I hope they show that. I hope they show that next episode.
That's what I was hoping.
Having a sit down and talking about what happened.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. I said, I really hope the next episode they film Sydney and Phil just having a follow-up conversation. I really hope so. But we haven't seen it in the but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. It may have happened and they may have cut it. So we don't know. So yeah. David said he should know who he is connected to by now. In the journey and focus, his intent, his interest, that's what Misha said. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That Phil knows who's interested in. He knew that, you know, whatever, just like Frank. Sydney don't want Frank. Sydney, her interest is waning. They knew each other from the nightlife, from the scene, from the club scene. They want something different than something you've always had. So yeah. Yeah, so that is so funny. No, I don't honestly. Celery, how is she jealous? They didn't even mention Shiloh. That has nothing. Shiloh had no bearing on the actual situation. She had no bearing on it. And honestly, y'all, why didn't he say, I'm having feelings for Sydney? He could have just said, I'm having feelings for Sydney, if that's the case. Even though I was trying for him not to say the word, not to say somebody
I don't think he would have ever communicated with that. Like, it's obvious his communication is lacking. And I don't know if his reason for not just saying, like, he could have easily just said, I'm still doing the process. I'm still trying to make a decision. He could have said that. So I don't know if his intention was just to keep her around so she doesn't, you know, cut off things with him, or was it just he doesn't know how to let her down easily? I don't know what it was with him. But
Phil was having his cake and eating it too. She still wasn't sure about Sydney because Frank is still in the picture. And so he was like, I don't want to put my eggs in the Sydney basket because she may choose Frank. So since then, I still want to keep Shiloh around. I still like Shiloh. So he was having his cake and eat it too. I'm not saying I dislike Frank. I actually like, I mean, my issue with Frank is not Frank.
You
Phil.
talking about T-Rex arms? Who you talking about? Oh, I was like, you like Frank.
I meant Phil. I meant Phil when I said Frank. I'm not saying that I don't like Phil. I actually do. I just think that in that scenario, there was a lot of things, that he the communication was very much off. The communication was very much an issue when it had to come with Phil, to do with Phil. And T-Rex arms are so funny. Yo, but I would love for some. I do think that is a good question. What is getting on me? This process is odd for the men and the women. Okay, Chris. Yes, I agree with that. But it's easy to say. It is easy to say what he should have said, but those are still hard conversations. Yes, it's all hard conversation. We've said that. Still be honest with me. And I feel like Shiloh is just like, be honest with me. You're right. But we also can't say that this man said, no, don't go down there. Let me pick your ass up. He didn't do that either. So we can't say that he did that either. So he didn't say, no, stop. He didn't. So at 4:00 in the morning, you're not going to do that either. She might. So anyway. So yeah, I would love for some of our supporters to come on and hang out with us. I am talking to you, High Vibes, and the Miss Creative. I would love for you to come up, even if you don't want to show your face, but we would love to meet you.
Yes, y'all don't have to put your camera on. You don't have to stay for the whole entire live. We just want to hear from y'all because y'all been going hard with us this whole season, as well with other shows. So
yeah, we got 200 people in here. We had 210 people in here in the beginning. Please hit that like button.
Well, Crystal, drop your link in the chat.
I am going to drop my link from my channel in the
Make sure y'all subscribe to Crystal's channel.
Please subscribe to Crystal Lynette on YouTube. Yes. The ladies panel is coming back. The men's panel is coming back too, but I have about 6 episodes of the ladies panel. So please go to, hold on a second. I'm gonna drop my link. Hold please. Keep talking, Misha.
Okay. Ooh, I'm sorry. I was stuck on the T-Rex arms because y'all. But yes. But okay. Okay. So we got Moomin, Frank, or Nalante, should I say? And is it Nalante or Delon? Whatever the man's name is. But Sydney and Moomin. And I think Frank might choose Moomin out of default. Just because Sydney is going with Phil. So we're going to see. We are going to see. Crystal's link is in the chat. Y'all go over and hit subscribe on Crystal Lynette's channel. She does Ready to Love. She does show reviews, but she also does these amazing panels. She does all male panels. She has some female panels. Go ahead and y'all know stay right. I'm not stay right. Me and Walter have a song and it's called Stay Right.
Y'all. So thank you so much, y'all. So yes, the ladies panel is coming up. The next one is going to be on submission. and I'm going to be talking about that word masculine and feminine energy. So should be January 9th. Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun. I'm going to be Run the World is coming back, so I'm going to be reviewing Run the World with the show with Risha Webb on Stars. And I'm so glad that all y'all are in here because Misha and I, we definitely said that we'd at least watch the first 2 episodes of Married at First Sight. I got through about 20 minutes of this Meet the Couples, and I can't do it. I don't know. I can't do it. So y'all, if you guys want us to watch this, let us know. If you guys want us to review this, what do you think, Misha? Because I asked, I was like, Misha, did you watch? She said no. I said,
listen, I'm not watching till they walking down the aisle. I am not watching you sit there and tell your parents you on Married at First Sight. I'm not watching a matching special. I'm not watching you pick the dress. I wasted my time last season with that. I want to see you walking down the aisle. That's what I want to see. So I'll start tuning in then.
I can't.
And then we'll see.
Listen, when I see these couples, and I just what was one of the couples? It's gonna be another thing. The girl said that she wants a man that makes a good living, and then there's a guy that doesn't have a job. I said, oh Lord, did y'all seriously pair this couple together? So I said, I'm not gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Yes, Callie, I love Run the World, so I'm gonna be doing that. So you guys, thank you so much. So before we go, Misha just mentioned something. I agree with you on this, though. I definitely think that Frank's gonna pick Moomin. Sydney's gonna pick Phil, and Sabrina and Walter are gonna ride this friendship train off into the sunset. And they do look good walking next to each other. I gotta say that they do make a good couple. They look good together. And who else? Now think about this, y'all. I think there's 4 guys and 3 women, and of course Aisha and Dante. We see that already happening. Is anybody going to get eliminated? Who's going to get eliminated then?
I think Sabrina might not choose Walter. I don't know. Well, I would, even if I didn't, if I was in Sabrina's shoes, even if I didn't see a serious thing or see anything happening with Walter, I would still choose him on that finale because you gonna add some extra dollars onto that little paycheck that y'all paying me because y'all done took a lot of my time. So I could see y'all are a mess, but I could see that happening. And I don't know if they're going to like have the whole, if Sydney, let's say Sydney tells Frank that she's not choosing him, then does Frank have to go home or does he get an option to still choose Moomin? Is that how you say her name? But so that's what I'm wondering. Because that is a good point. They might, if Sydney just tells him she's going with Phil, then he might just have to go home. And I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, that Phil would have to. But then who's left though? Because it's Frank and Moomin, Sydney and Phil, Sabrina and Walter, Aisha and Dante. So there is 4. I feel like I thought there was 3. I thought it was 3 women, so I might be wrong. So I think that's it. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Y'all, I mean, if you done made it this far, go to the end and get that check. You know, because I know they probably not paying that well, and I know people don't like to hear that because they want the fantasy and the romance. But get that check if you're that close.
But I do think, Josie, I do hear what you're saying, and that's why I meant to mention this earlier. That she asked her cousin, so what do you think? And her cousin's not seeing those red flags. And she's like, I just think it's something. I'm not sure. And I also think that Sabrina has said that has not been the best picker in the past. So because she's not been the best picker in the past, sometimes something, it may not be a red flag, but because we have not been the best picker in the past, we are just hyper aware and we're just not sure, so I think that she needs to just follow her gut on that. Go ahead, Mish.
What do y'all think? Okay, this is probably okay, let me just spit it out. So, word on the street is that Walter be throwing these little swinger parties. So, people feel like he is being a hypocrite with Sabrina and talking about her being a stripper is a red flag. So, what do y'all think? Have y'all heard the same thing? Do you think there's any truth? Because he did say he was in them streets. I didn't know it was like that, but yeah.
So one, I have not heard that, but I'm not surprised. Two, and I feel like I was on another show and they were saying that the reason why he has an issue with her, being an ex-dancer is because he knows that life, because he's, he's not been, but he's been in those streets, so he kind of knows that kind of mentality or that life. So I would not be surprised. Oh, Walter Freaky, tell Miss Creator heard that too. He ain't fooling nobody. And honestly, get over it, Walter. Like, she was 18. He's still in them streets. Yep. So I think Walt was actually honest that it's a red flag for him because he would not respect a woman with that past. He doesn't respect a woman with that past because he's very aware of that past. Because
Correct.
he knows, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. But to me, at 18, and she probably was trying to get her business off the ground, she probably stacked some coin. But I get what you're saying, that he knows that past. He knows, you know, that lifestyle. So that's why
That's a good point, Kenya, because respect is so important. So if he knows that off the bat that he would not treat her with respect or look at her the same as, for say, like another partner, then no, he shouldn't be with her. But I do think it's a little judgmental, but I definitely see where Kenya's coming from.
right. I agree.
It's
That's what I'm
important.
saying. He knows that past. That's why he has an issue with her.
Right.
So he knows that past. He knows the lifestyle, or he's very aware of the people that frequent that lifestyle. So that's why he has the gnawing thing in his head about it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Y'all, this was mad fun. This was mad fun. We're gonna do it again. I cannot wait for the somebody said earlier that we can just skip to the
right.
we could
Drop the
just
reunion trailer. That's what
we
I
just
want
skip
to
to the
see.
reunion.
What y'all gonna be saying on there?
Just drop the reunion trailer, please. And
Yeah.
thank you. Please just drop the reunion. But you know what? Somebody else said earlier that they think that he's gonna just, or Sabrina's just gonna say no, thank you. That she's like, yeah, I think that they're good friends, and that's not a bad thing. Yeah. So yes, we got a lot of things coming up. Um, I kind of did not like. I agree with you on that one. I did not like him saying that you look like a madam. Oh well, maybe he meant that
Who
because she was
said
in that
that?
all black cat suit. Walter said
Oh,
that to
he
Sabrina.
did
She was wearing
say
an all black
that.
cat suit and then this nice, cute necklace
Oh,
piece that she was
look
saying.
what Jonesy done brought up. Look what
I
Jonesy
don't.
done brought up.
I've been seeing that, Josie. I've been seeing that in the chat, and I've been nicely avoiding it. I've been nicely keep going. So, y'all, this is a married couple. They were married for 9 years. What do y'all want to do? What do you want to do, Misha?
Let's talk about it,
I knew
because
you were gonna
here's
say
my
that.
thing. We're both I don't think you've ever been married, Crystal. I haven't been married, but we're both abstaining. So for me at least, they were definitely an inspiration. I think they were definitely had a positive impact. My issue is when you go around saying God told me this was my husband, and now I'm looking like who really said that to you? Was it God? Because I don't believe God wants anyone divorced. My thing is I don't I don't believe God says he is the one. God's not going to come down on a white cloud like you need to marry this person or that person. I just think you know what you want, your wants, your list, and who you are going to marry, like the, what do you call it? The attributes of the person you're going to marry. You need to know them. So you should be able to easily look at someone and say, I can see them as a husband or I can see them as a wife. My whole thing, Megan Good, there was nothing on that list that met what Devon Franklin needed or should have wanted in a wife, as far as him being a Seventh-day Adventist pastor in the church. I love Megan Good, love her as an actress. Girl, Harlem, I watched Harlem in all in one day. I love that show on Amazon. But I don't think she was fit for the lifestyle he was trying to have or where he's trying to go in God, in the church, all that stuff. I just don't think they were aligned. So that makes me think neither one of y'all were really hearing from God. I think Megan, in interviews, she's talked about her dating past. She's talked about struggling with alcohol, smoking, not being in the best relationship. So I think she saw Devon Franklin as a good guy and a change and somebody that was going to be good for her. I think he saw her, she's fine. Like she looks good, but that does not mean you are aligned. So I'm gonna let you go because
Okay, well, a couple things, and I want to address something AW asked about, because I was going to do a separate live about Ryan and Clara, because I really want to talk about that too. So that's going to be very interesting. Without it, we'll be here all night. The Ryan and Clara of it all. But so I really want to bring this up. So before Megan married, and y'all, please, I don't want anyone to say in here that she's a hoe or anything like that. I've been seeing that on other chats. I'm not
agree.
about that. I don't
I
want to hear
agree.
that. And I don't like that. I don't know. Misha says she agreed. Please don't do that, because to me, we don't know we don't know these people's lives. We know that she's been acting since she was what, 6 years old, right? I'm from LA. Was raised in California, raised in that I worked in that industry. Misha's from California too, so we know that this is a different. Um, she may have been exposed to things that unfortunately may not been conducive to what she wanted a different life, but has been acting since she was a little kid, right? So I don't want to hear anybody calling her a hoe. So that's one thing. So before she got with Devon, they got married 2010. They were married 2009, 2010, right? So before that, she was actually grieving from a relationship, or that her ex cheated on her. She was with the football player for at least 3 years. He had cheated, treated her horribly, and see all of these. And the reason I know this is because I was actually on with Sean and Corey Black the other night, and we kind of just really started to take a huge deep dive And this was not just like one picture. You know how sometimes you take one picture with a celebrity and people say that they're dating? No, she was with him for years, for at least 2 to 3 years, right? And when she got with Devon, she was like, I was healing from a bad breakup. I was really sad. That's why, she did cut her hair, and she was like, I need a change. I wanted better. And she really wanted to get with somebody. She wanted a good man in her life, right? Now, as Misha did just say, that doesn't mean that they're aligned. She wanted better. She said, I stopped having sex. I changed whatever lifestyle I was in that, that I totally changed that lifestyle. So, and I really I wanted better for my life. So, and that probably really made it, was sad, depressing, was really something that she wanted better for her life. So she got with Devon, and they were married for 9 years. To me, they tried. A lot of people say that it might have been that she didn't want kids, and she said that she wasn't sure. And being from California and in that industry, I've seen that it's hard to meet people that really want kids and really want, because it's hard. So him being a 7 Day Adventist, he wanted children. He was very vocal about that. We don't know what it was. I'm not going to say, oh, this is why they got divorced, because we don't know. But at the same time, that doesn't mean, because she was trying to change her life and she was trying to have a better life with this man, and he's a pastor, that doesn't mean that they're aligned. Just like Misha said, that doesn't mean that is a recipe for longevity. So that, 9.5 years is a good is unfortunately, it they I did like them together, and I really was hoping that this was, something great. But we can't look at that relationship and say, oh, it was a poster child for, like a lot of those people that look at Will and Jada and think that they're like the oh, well, that's goals and stuff like that. You can't do that. You can't look at somebody's relationship that you've never met before, you ain't in their house, and say that that's goals. So, but we do know that, her her being a child actress and being, doing this for years, and him not coming from that I think that speaks to, just there's just differences. There's just like differences that people just, you don't know. We don't know. So that doesn't mean that they
I
were alone.
agree. I want to add, abstaining is about your commitment to God.
Right.
And I think when people hear their story, they think you can abstain or celibate, and that's going to give you a husband. No, it's abstaining is about honoring your commitment to God and putting God first, putting your relationship with God first. And so I think when certain stories like this come out, people think they can manipulate God into giving them a husband. If I just don't have sex, then God will bring my husband out of the sky, and he's going to run into me at the grocery store and ask me out. And no, that's
It's not
not
going to happen.
how it works. So I think when you're abstaining, it's not just about you not having sex. You should be growing closer to God, building your relationship with God. And sometimes with this situation, I'm just like, where was Devon? As far as, you're the preacher, you're the pastor. It just doesn't seem like there was guidance, and maybe, and sometimes in her understanding or expectations. So I think one of the reasons people said goals to the relationship was the abstinence part of it. There are several ladies who want to be abstinent, and seeing someone find a partner made them glad. That's true.
That's true.
That's true. They definitely inspired people and didn't make, because you can get weary. I know Crystal can testify to this too. You can get weary because it's like, I'm spending time with God, I'm not having sex, I'm working on my attitude, I'm trying to grow my business, I'm doing this in my career. I'm trying to bring it all together so I can be ready for this person. It just seems like, where he at? Like, so you can get weary. So I do get inspired when stories like this happen, or other women who are abstaining find their mate, and I'm like, yes, that's good, but I don't think we should have couple goals, because you don't know what that person is going through. We don't know what Megan went through or what Devon went through in this whole thing. But yeah,
and we also know that you constantly have to see each other. You constantly have to work on a relationship. It's not just like, she's a working actress, and he's also a pastor. He's also does celebrity pastoring. He does the things in that realm as well. So it takes a lot of working on the relationship and getting to see each other. And a lot of people saying, well, she was getting down. Listen, that's a lot. That's just choreographed. A lot of sex in movies. It's not a lot. It's all choreographed. She wasn't showing her tail. She wasn't showing being naked. And I'm really sick of people saying that, oh, she was this, that, and the other. Like somebody said in Think Like Men. No, she was not naked at all. Yes, she did wear some dresses, but that's what she was. And that's part of it. She was showing like, no, I am changing my ways. I want to really meet somebody for longevity. So we don't know. And I remember years ago, when I was still living in California, a friend of mine would look at a married couple and be like, "Oh, I really want that. I really want that wife and kid, the husband and kids, and the whole thing." And I was like, "You don't know them. He could be beating her." And turns out that they were getting a divorce in 6 months. Like, we cannot do that. And I do appreciate, yes, that is goals, and that we do look up to that. To relationships and marriages and stuff like that, but it's hard work, and people, we have to work on it. It takes hard work, and it takes really taking the time with each other. Go ahead, Misha.
I wanted to touch on Shindy. I think I lost her comment, but she basically talked about the business side, and I felt like they rushed it. Y'all only been married for 2 months, and you got a book about a relationship book out. So I think they rushed it there, because y'all ain't really even had no longevity of a relationship yet to be advising other people. But also, he made sure to put them papers in before I hit the 10-year mark. So there is a business side to him. He knew, let me get these papers in so she don't leave with half everything.
I will give you that, and I'll also discuss a little bit about the business side. I was like, they already got a book. They just got married, and you got to work on things. But I also think that a lot of people were talking them into rushing it. A lot of people were oh, well, you guys should write a book. You guys should write a book. They dated for a year before he proposed. And I'm not saying that was not long enough or too long or whatever. That your timeline is your timeline. A lot of people, some people have only been together for 5 months, and they know. So I'm not saying that, but I do think that what your relationship, sometimes you can't advise anybody. Like, just because what's working for them after that 2 months, I don't stop listening to other people. Because after 2 months, somebody telling you, "Oh, you should write a book. You should write a book." No, we shouldn't. We need to work on our own marriage. We need to work, and what works for us may not work for other people. So I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. The business side is huge. The business, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who did you write?
I
Did you
wish
read the
them
book?
both
Did you read the book,
wear.
Kenya?
Huh?
I think Kenya said she read the book. The book was good, but once I got to the part where she only abstained for 7 months, I was out. I was on.
Now it's been
Go ahead.
It's been said in the book that he said she, as far as her list of things she brings to the relationship, she was everything he did not want in a wife. So that is my issue. If she didn't match your needs in a partner, how are you saying God told you this was your spouse? And why are you, because like people even said in the chat, God is not the author of confusion. The Bible says God will give you the desires of your heart. The Bible talks a lot about giving us what we want, desire, all those things. Never once in the Bible does it say, I'm going to give you what you don't want, or like, I don't understand that part, because that's where he's
So do you
losing
think
me.
that's interesting? Do you think that as they both, as she you know, her previous relationship was so bad, and she has said that before, that she was cheated on, she was it was like an emotional abuse, that she wanted something different than what she had in the past. Maybe he as well wanted something different that he had in the past, as you just said, that
Mm-hmm.
she was everything I didn't want, or everything that he wasn't used to. So
Mm-hmm.
they were both not used to those type of people. So that's how they, you know, came together. Is that what is that what you're thinking?
I just think it. I just think she wanted him for her reasons. He wanted her for his reasons. Don't drag God into that.
Mm,
And so for me, and this is to all the abstaining women, all the women of God, because she wrote in her book, she told everyone that that was her husband. She was telling him that God told me you're my husband. Do not do that. Do not do that. I've had the dreams of where I thought I saw my husband and I knew who God wanted me to marry. Do not tell the person. Yes, God will give you insight and will tell you things. Do not go and do that. That's rule number one.
right.
But like Raquina said, the Bible talks about being unequally yoked, and
Yep.
the Bible talks about being with people who are not of God, who are not believers of God. So he's got some responsibility to take. No, we don't know everything, but we know the basics. And based on the basics, if you're a pastor, if you're a man of the cloth, as some people say, then he has to use his discernment, judgment, use the word. Like if y'all would have
Right.
just opened your Bible, this we would not be here.
No, you're absolutely right. Use your words and use discernment and really be, yeah, self-aware. But use the Bible, use the word, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. That's what I think. Yeah. So,
Yeah, but I wish them well. I do like them. I'm more familiar with Megan's work as far as being an actress.
mhm.
Devon, I don't know. I'm not a Seventh Day or any of
Me
that,
neither.
but so I don't know much about that. I just know I always see him on Instagram with his eyes closed. So that's that's all I know about him. But if you're claiming to be a Christian and you're putting things on God, let the things you're saying match with what is in God's word. That's it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything else. I think this is probably hard for both of them. I think that like she was really truly hoping that this would work, and yeah, I think that this was very hard for both, and especially what she had been through before him, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Well, thank y'all for
right.
tuning in. We had fun, so much fun with y'all.
So and that's the thing. That's but did she use her word? Did she use the word like that? That really triggered me. Like, stop saying that. I'm gonna just listen to God. Like,
Yes.
but are you really listening to him?
When she was about to walk down the aisle talking about she feel the Holy Spirit, I was like, Paige, go sit down somewhere.
Right, right. And you know what? Okay, and we were about to. That's what Misha is talking about. About, you know, people that talk about God in this way, but are you really listening to him? Are you listening to God? Are you using your discernment? Are you really like using the word? Are you really diving into the Bible and saying that this is the right person for me? And when you see those red flags, you need to run. And Devon putting up that picture of him crying today made me happy. Megan got out of the Listen, I saw that picture. I was like, why are you closing your eyes? Like, didn't you take like 2 and 3 pictures? And they were like, he felt peace. He felt, what did it say? Peace and something else. And I was like, oh, Lord.
I'm not going to play with you.
My concern is, oh, never mind. I got to say it after sometimes I'm going to say it after, after live. Um, so I want to actually go back to the Paige and Chris thing though, because you have to know yourself as well. Like when you say, well, I'm going to do what God tells me to do. I'm going to talk to God and do what God tells me to do, what to do. But are you really using your discernment? And me watching what 2 seasons ago of Mavs is one of the reasons why I'm probably not, me and Misha are probably not going to do a review of it, because to me, this was not just him, this was her too. To me, I was like, girl, don't even get on that plane to your honeymoon. Like there's so many. And when you see 1 and 2 red flags, it's a point when you're like in your mind and in your head and in your heart, when you say to yourself, it's just going to get worse, that this is not, there's no turning around, there's no turning this around. So, and I try not to say, well, put myself in this person's shoes, or in my head, I'm like, I wouldn't even go on, I wouldn't have gone on the honeymoon, but she did. So for me to say, oh, well, she shouldn't have done this and she shouldn't have done that, we can't do that. But at the same time, we're like, girl, are you actually, stop putting the Bible in this, stop putting God in every word you're saying, and still letting this man manipulate you, hurt you, and treat you like crap. So there's just so many things to what Misha was just saying about the Bible and about God. Go ahead, Misha. Sorry.
That was it. And also, this is the last, okay. I can say this is the last thing, but the Bible also talks about testing the spirit. So it's very easy to say, I heard this from God, I heard this, but are you testing it? Are you getting that confirmation? And sometimes I believe Christians get caught up in confirmation, and sometimes they wait too long on things because they waiting for an angel to come down and like fly outside their window. But it is very true that if you think you are hearing from God, test the spirit, test his word, find confirmation in the word, the things that are aligned with what you think God is telling you. But yes, hearing God with big things like a partner is something to be very careful of, because it's, yes, a life transforming decision, because your partner is going to affect your purpose, your destiny. They're going to affect a lot of things in your life. So if you're saying you're a pastor and you're marrying someone who is not always aligned with God's word, then what do you think's happening with your destiny and your purpose? So, yep, it's, yeah. You know what?
I agree. They're not always aligned with what you follow. That's a lot. And honestly, that takes some time. So
Mm-hmm.
so if they're not all immediately aligned, then that takes some work, you know, to,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just going to be an immediate, oh, well, she's not aligned, or he's not really aligned with, how I've been living my life, or how, or the the religion that I follow, but I like him. So, you have to do the work. What does David say? Train your hearing skills first with small things and grow your faith.
That's
with
such a good
big
one.
things. Seek confirmation and test the spirit. I love that because, and I really want to talk about the in the beginning of it. Train your hearing skills. Seek first with hearing skills
Small
first
things.
with the small things. That is so
Yes.
important. You have to do that. You have to, and it takes work. It's not just, oh, I met this person. He's not like the people of my past, and I met this young lady. She's not like who I dated
Mm.
before. Um, no, you have to seek first. You have to train your faith. It's train yourself. It's not immediate.
That's true because that's one of the things I did when I started having dreams that I thought was confirmation about my husband or who my husband would be. I started saying, okay, well, what other ways did God speak to me? How,
Mm-hmm.
like, what are other ways that God warned me, whether it be dreams, visions, whether he spoke to me, how did he do that before? And sometimes you got to go back to the basics. Like, what are other ways that God has warned you or spoken to you, and you were sure that that was God? So, what you looking
I'm gonna
like that
get
for,
you.
Crystal?
I'm gonna get you, Miss Creative. No, no. 2 Corinthians 6:4 states, "The word doesn't change. Don't compromise."
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna answer Miss Creatives with Mimi's because to me that is too much. So to me, the, the homosexuality, that's one portion right there.
Mm-hmm.
But then him smoking crack. So I want to change. How long have you been in NA? How long have you been how long has this change taken place? So no,
That's
that's just
real.
another thing. Like, no, then a year from now, oh, he changed though. And a year from now he's stealing everything out my house. No. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen overnight. And that's really what I was saying earlier is it takes work. You can't just say, oh, they're changed. And that's what I really think that David was saying here as well.
Yeah.
Train your hearing skills first with the small things and grow. You
Right.
can't just like, oh well, he's changed.
Right.
He doesn't sleep. He doesn't like peeing anymore. That's oh, he's brand new.
Like,
No.
if you cannot point out where God has spoken to you before, why would he come and say, this is your husband? Why would he come and say that?
And why is
If
it this
he's never
person?
spoken to you into any other area in your life, why is he only gonna come to you and speak to you about a partner? Like, that don't even make sense.
This is honestly a lesson for us all as Christians and not just this couple. We as Christians must learn to quickly dig deep spiritually before letting our
Mm-hmm.
emotions get on full on in a relationship. I totally agree. I totally agree with that, David. It absolutely makes sense that you don't just dive deep on emotion and you're not
Mm-hmm.
seeing all the
Unless
flags, red flags, blue flags, yellow flags. You're not seeing everything. Go ahead, Mish.
I don't have nothing else, but I agree with David though. It's a less there's so
There's so many
many
lessons.
lessons in this. Shout out to Janice Hilton because she's done video after video after video about this couple, and she has broken it down with the Bible and this relationship, and she's really turned it into a learning lesson for us all to really learn from this relationship. And yeah, so make sure, I'm sure, I know a lot of y'all are already subscribers of Janice, but her and this topic is like, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
She is on it.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
this was mad fun. I love it.
yes,
Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you guys so much for just hanging out with us tonight. Again, next week is the season finale, and then the what do you call it? The reunion is after that. So I'm gonna be having more content on my channel. The ladies panel is coming, and I got like I feel like it's 6 episodes coming every 2 weeks is my goal to have a ladies panel, and then Run the World. Misha and I are gonna be here for you. I just dropped my link again to just talk about Ready to Love. I guess Put a Ring on It is next. So
hopefully, I'm like, drop the trailers. I want to see what's happening.
I want to see what's happening. I want to see what's happening. Give me my stress now. Give me don't put me out of my misery now. Put me out of my misery now. So thank you guys so much.
Yes.
More content coming. Misha, you know what? Y'all follow Misha Allen on Instagram. And I know everybody is following her on YouTube in these YouTube streets because she will be dropping. She loves to drop shows. She loves to surprise us. She may not have anything right now, but she'll just be like, "I got something for you." Like,
not a surpriser.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Yeah, good night.
Good night.